churros, otherwise known as fried doughs. Today we're going to make churro, which is basically part of a cruller. Take a cruller and open the cruller into a flat line. That's essentially what this is. It's a choux pastry, like for profiteroles that we made, fried. Now, it's sort of pan-cultural. It's in many, many cultures. If you go to the San Gennaro festival, you can get fried dough, which is piped like this, and it makes kind of a weird circle. Linny says in Hoboken, it's sort of a blob. A lot of cultures have fried dough, sweet, savory. Shepherds, for instance, in Portugal, used to carry this because the choux paste travels. So everybody's scared to make choux pastry. It's actually very easy, and it's quite hearty, and it's really not that big a deal. Anyway, this is basically a choux pastry, which we're going to pipe into shapes, and then we're going to make churros, which I think everybody kind of loves. If I see them on the menu, I've ordered a few churros in my life. I like them. They're very good. Full disclosure, I've never made them in my life. We found a very nice, solid recipe to make the churros, but I'm going to use the indomitable Jacques Pepin's worst cover ever. I'm going to use his choux recipe because I have yet to find a single recipe of his that doesn't work. If all else fails, go to Jacques Pepin. Flawless recipes. And we're going to try this out together. So we're going to make choux. We've made it before, but it's always good to review. Choux pastry is the only pastry that is cooked twice. It's really very simple. Don't be scared of this. We've made gougers. We've made profiteroles. Basically, it's quite simple. The paste is simple. We're going to put in a cup of milk. We're going to put in half a stick of butter. And then, oh, did I tell you guys about this blackthorn salt? I was watching Amazing Hotels with Monica Galletti. Monica goes to a hotel in Scotland. This blackthorn salt, they run the seawater through this sort of V-shaped blackthorn thing. It's just amazing. Anyway, it's excellent salt. A little bit of salt. A little bit of salt in your churro. Never hurt anybody, you know. Here's some sugar. They say a quarter teaspoon. We're going to boil milk, which is, scary, except for that wonderful Indian tradition where you boil over the milk and let it just boil over the whole stove. I mean, that's a ceremony I could probably do without, but it's an abundance. It's for Annapurna, the president of Indian Kitchens. I'm reading a book about the Kennedys. It's called Ask Not, the Kennedys and the Women They Destroyed. It is absolutely salacious. I cannot put it down. Anyways, I'm just melting this and boiling this. Okay, this is real-time cooking. Okay, this is boiling. Remove it slightly from the heat. Don't be scared about this part. I'm gonna dump all the flour in at the same time. I'm gonna stir that in like this. Don't panic. Don't panic, George. I'm gonna put it back on a low heat and I'm gonna, you see how it's coming away from the sides? That's like a pliant sort of ball and the sides are clean. That's what you want. Okay, I'm now going to take this to a food processor. Now, you can do it in a mixer. It takes sometimes more than 4 eggs. We're gonna use 4 eggs. Process this briefly to release some air, some heat. 1 egg. We're gonna do them one at a time, you don't have to. Process. 2 eggs. 3 eggs. 4 eggs. Starting to look like choux pastry to me. Oh yeah, that's what I call pipeable choux. Ooh, I want to eat that. Let's put this into a piping bag. This is a Lilliputian piping bag. Apparently I've run out of big piping bags. This is this cute trick that Reggie and I, it's the only thing we retained from the candy making class. And I'm going to put this paste into the bag. I used a star nozzle. I'm gonna just bend this, and I'm gonna put this in the fridge just while I go and get the fryer and stuff like that, just so it's a little bit easier to pipe. So this one has a much smaller straw. We're gonna make churrolitos, because I don't have another big nozzle. This is an example of something I probably wouldn't make unless we were making it on the show, because it involves a pan, a machine, and 2 piping bags. But I bet a kid would think this was really fun. Just curious to see. Oh, it's not that small. It means the other one might be really big, like a churro grande, right? Fridge. Let's get the fryer. Tefal, ultimate, easy clean. We're gonna fry our churros. Now, I'm a little concerned about the piping bag and cutting it and dropping, and I'm gonna share with you, I'm a little nervous about that. Now, we're told 6 inches is the average size of a churro. And we're gonna try to do this. I'm gonna pipe it like this, and then I'm gonna try to cut it. We're gonna see what happens. Let's try one. They're frying up pretty good. Looks like a churro to me. I'm cooking these at 371. I'm just waiting until they're golden brown. Then I'm going to drain them on some paper towel, and I'm going to toss them in some cinnamon sugar, which is, in this case, sugar with a little gingerbread spice, which is all I had. Flip this one. Oh boy. Don't forget your oil will cool down every time you put something into it. Wait for the oil to come back to temperature. Do we like both sides of that one? I'm putting it on some paper towels. Oh yeah. Just gonna drain that for a few minutes and put another couple in here. Mine aren't such a great shape, but that's okay. That's okay, we're gonna eat them anyway. I'm just sort of tossing them around, spraying the sugar over them. Oh, perfect coating, look at that. You don't want these to get too dry, Lynn just reminded me, so let them cool for a little bit and then sugar them up. Very fancy. So you don't have to sugar them. You can make a very simple ganache, which is melted chocolate chips and cream for dipping. This is just sugar with a little bit of, like I said, gingerbread spice. You could also just do regular sugar or nothing and just use dipping sauce. Okay, this is a smaller nozzle, as they say. Here we go. It's smaller than we thought. Little tiny wormy things, little tiny wormy things. Fry away, little wormy things. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Damn. I'm gonna flip these. Oh yeah. Once again, you don't need this. I highly recommend it, but you don't need it. You can do it on the stove. You can just fry them in a frying pan. This much oil, you know, just so that you can sort of push them down and move them around in the oil. It doesn't seem to be splattering. There's not a lot of liquid in the dough, which is helpful for splatter. Taking these out. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, these are much crisper. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory. All right, let's try a circle. Is it even possible? No one knew. They didn't really make circles, but that's okay. They made curlicues, wingdings, and that's all the churros I'm making today. Okay. We made beautiful churros. Look at these guys. We made regular size and we made dainty size. One advice I would say, oopsie. One advice I would say is cook them, overcook them. What a delightful, kind of fancy snack to serve to your friends with a little ganache dipping sauce, or not. We used Mr. Pepin's choux recipe, very dainty and beautiful, light and airy. I would suggest trying out making some churros. Thank you so much for watching Dinner Party Tonight. Thank you for sending your questions. Thank you for everything you do to buoy our spirits up and keep us in the game. It's because of you. And my suggestion is, why don't you have a dinner party tonight? Now we're told 6 inches is the average size of a churro.